Hi, how's it going? I'm Marlene. Thanks for wandering by. So, I can't sleep. and when I can't sleep, I try to find things for myself to do to help calm my, racing thoughts and to de-stress and decompress. And that's what I'm doing right now by making this video. So thanks for wandering by. What I decided to do was I did a tarot reading for myself, and I made up a tarot for insomniacs spread. And this really helped. I'm obviously not asleep yet, but this helped make me feel better. And so I'd like to share it with you in the hopes that it could help anybody out there feel better. Now, I'm going to talk about these guys because they're really cute, and if you recognize them, then we're friends. But in any case, what I want to do is like walk you through the tarot spread and the different positions. I'll talk a little bit about my takeaway, but I'm not looking for anybody to like analyze, my reading or how I interpret, stuff for myself. So if you don't mind, if you do comment, please, don't comment on that part. But would definitely love to hear from you, like if this is something that helps you and you would like to try as well. So first, let me introduce you to my two little guys here. So this is a Borg from Star Trek. And here's the story with these guys, if you're interested. This is a Cylon, old school Cylon from Battlestar Galactica, which is one of my favorites. If you get that, we're also friends. But a while ago, years ago, I want to say, yeah, it's been years now. A student of mine gave me a Borg and a Cylon. And I had them displayed on my desk at work all the time. And my Borg stuck around with me, but my Cylon got lost or stolen or something happened to my Cylon and he was gone. So I was bummed until I don't know what I was doing on the internet, like shopping or looking at stuff or whatever. And I ran across this website that had these little toys. These are like Funko minis, maybe? Is that what they're called? I'd have to look at the box, whatever. So I saw like this whole set of Battlestar Galactica minis. And I honestly thought that, and it was like on the cheap. So I didn't even really read the whole description of them. I just like bought it, whatever. And I was excited about it. And then it got here yesterday, and I realized that it was just one. It wasn't a whole set of all my Battlestar Galactica cast. But when I opened it, I didn't care anymore because I was really excited because it was the Cylon, and he came back into my life. So here's my little Cylon and my little Borg. I'm going to put them aside. Maybe here. He can stand like a sentry. No, we're just going to put them up here. So yeah, I was just like stoked and wanted to share my cute little guys with you because I'm a big, huge sci-fi geek. And those are two of my favorite shows, Star Trek: The Next Generation and Battlestar Galactica. All right, so now let me walk you through this spread. And I hope I don't make this video too long, but if you are suffering from insomnia, you might like to have a nice, long, soothing video because that helps me fall asleep too. But so I'm going to run through the positions and then we'll talk about, we'll turn them over. So, let me talk about deck choices first because some of you might recognize these decks from their backs. And this is the Hayworth Tarot up above. And this, before I turn any cards over, so this deck is very, so like, I guess trigger warning, because this deck is very confronting. It has imagery that is, disturbing. Some people might find disgusting, scary, so that sort of thing. So if that's not your bag, baby, I'm quoting Austin Powers now. This is how tired I am. Oh my God. So if that's not your bag, baby, then move along. Or you should probably, move along. But I got the Hayworth Tarot specifically for stuff like this so that I can confront shit. So I was originally going to just use something like this. So this is below the Tarot of the Light. I was originally going to just like, oh, I should use a deck that's like gentle and soothing and like, sweet and kind and whatever. And because that'll help me, relax and calm down and fall asleep. Or, just get the stuff out of my mind so that I can then like try to fall asleep. But I decided that like I need to like process things first and then have some guidance. So that's what this is. So like the first row is like process your crap, and then the bottom row is how like guide me, help me figure that stuff out. Okay. And you could probably freeform this if you want, but I've assigned questions and positions here. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I should also caveat this by saying, like, I'm not a therapist. I'm not anybody that, has, like, even figured out how to deal with insomnia. I'm just telling you that tonight I couldn't sleep, and this is where I'm at. So if you want to join me on this weirdness, stick around. Okay. So position number 1 is here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. And these correspond, the top and the bottom. So number 1 is, and I'm sorry if things are crooked in this frame, like I'm not great at that stuff, but anyway. So position number 1 is, why can't I sleep? Why can't I sleep? Position number 2 is, what's really stressing me out? Position number 3 is, what's my main issue? Like, what's the main problem that I got going on? And then position number 4 is, like, what aspect of myself do I really need to deal with right now? And this is all in the vein of like, these questions are devised to like then have some guidance for them to help me like work through the stuff in my brain so that I can, relax and fall asleep. So number 1 is, why can't I sleep? And then beneath it is, how can this help me get to sleep? How can processing this help me get to sleep? And position number 2 is, what's really stressing me out? And then beneath it, position number 6 is, how can I manage that stress? What's the best way to manage that stress? And then number 3 is, what's my main problem? Like, what's the main issue that I have going on? And underneath it is position number 7. So if I work through this main problem, or how can I work through this main problem, this main issue that I have? How can I work through it? And then finally, 4 is, Oh my God, wait, I can't remember it now. 4 was, oh, am I gonna have to like stop this and rewind it? Why can't I sleep? What's stressing me out? What's my main problem? Oh yeah, and you guys, oh my God, sorry. What is the aspect of myself that I really need to, the aspect of myself that I need to deal with right now? And then this one is, if I, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this aspect of myself? What's the best way to go about that? Okay? So we'll do the top row first, and then we'll do the bottom row. All right, so why can't I sleep? Okay, yeah, that's right. Because there's because because there's cycles to everything, like, and you can't have one thing without the other. You can't have life without death. You can't have, there's things that are afoot that are like transitioning and transforming and changing. I know that the Wheel of Fortune is more the changed and cycles, but that's what this feels like to me, because I'm just like staring at the nothingness and the void, and I can't sleep. Okay, so why can't I sleep? What's really stressing me out? Queen of Swords. Okay, that is a seriously messed up looking image. And immediately makes me feel like I'm not speaking up when I need to be speaking up. And that's what's really stressing me out. It feels like a work thing. Anyway, I won't get into it too much, but that's, not to get too personal about my life. But yeah, that's really what feels like is going on. So like, obviously this is the shadow side of things up here, guys. So why can't I sleep? What's really stressing me out? What's my main problem? What's the main issue? 3 of Wands. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. This is, all I want to be doing is planning like and setting off on and working on all of my creative projects and passions and everything that's like not what I have to do in my day-to-day life that's practical. I want to be pursuing my writing and this channel and all my creative endeavors, and it's like barren wasteland in front of me because I don't have the time that I really want. I don't have the time to spend like on that. I have lots of other things that I have to do. Okay, so we have that was the main issue that I have going on. Okay, and so now what aspect of myself do I need to deal with right now? Okay, 2 of Pentacles. Well, this 2 of Pentacles with these like this is, you guys, so that's, you were warned about this deck, because it's really, really confronting. So yeah, like, it's as if no matter what I try to do, everything is just like slipping through my hands. Like literally, like I have no place to keep anything because I'm probably trying to do too many things. I'm probably, I completely lack balance. Although it's funny because the holes are definitely balanced. Sorry for anybody that has issues with holes. Don't watch this. But no, it really definitely feels like the aspect of myself that I need to work on is like my inner equilibrium, or like my I don't know, the way that I manage my time And yeah, basically like my ability, I don't know like how I can summarize that. Like, yeah, just like like the way that I manage my stuff, my time, my resources, maybe even my money, but it really doesn't feel like a money thing here. It feels like a time thing. It feels like I'm like in the cloud. Like it's like I'm down here below these clouds and these hands are like up in the air. Like, what do we do? Everything is this void. Everything is like falling through this void. There's like, I'm losing the meaning of things because I'm probably trying too hard to make everything equal, that nothing is balanced at all. So that's definitely what's going on because I'm just like, like, what is the meaning of all this? I'm sorry, I'm being so melodramatic, but I get a little bit of like existential crisis sometimes when I can't sleep. So, all right, so now that we have our, like, what the F processing portion of the reading. Sorry, I need to shift. I'm on the floor because I couldn't be bothered to move all the stuff on my desk. I just don't want to like put my feet in the shot. Okay, so now that we have like, yeah, girl, you've got some crap to deal with. Now, like, how are we going to deal with it? And I just realized that there's a giant shadow. All right, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. This isn't like pretty. This is insomnia. It's not pretty. All right, so now we have, why can't I sleep? How can I process that so I can get to sleep? What's the best way to manage, like work with that energy? Equilibrium. Oh, well, that makes perfect sense now. So this is the Tarot of the Light. So 11, the Divine Order, equilibrium. So this would be in if I'm comparing it to the Waite-Smith, this is the Judgment. Justice card. This is Justice. So I guess, yeah, like, recognizing and accepting that everything has everything in life happens, that's just, it's equal. Like, like I was saying before, like, if I'm in the midst of this existential crisis about, like, what is the meaning of all this? Like, the meaning is, this isn't the only answer, but maybe it can help me rest a little bit easier knowing that like everything is, everything has an order. Like there's a reason, there's a balance that's inherent in yin and yang and nature and things like that. So if I take this like spinny kind of, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I kind of like bring it back to something peaceful that way, that like understanding of like nature itself. I'm like inadvertently like referencing the Tao, which is something that I don't know that much, or Taoism, that is something I don't know much about, but that I've been reading a lot about. So that helps. Yeah, so if I just like slow down and think about like the nature of things, that it's that duality, that equality, that fairness, that balance in all of life, one thing without the other, then maybe that can soothe me a little bit and not spin mentally, you know what I mean? Okay, so what's really stressing me out? Yeah, the fact that I'm not really speaking up places where I need to be, and I'm like, just like, I'm just like, with my own mind. Okay, so how can I manage that stress? What's the best way to manage that stress? So this would be the Hanged Man. So the turnaround, revolution, and it's this image of this tree here, and then its reflection in the water is what it seems like. It's and that image is inverted. Revolution. Okay, so perhaps I need to think about this in a different way, a new perspective, and perhaps if I do that, that will give me something like really, that will change the way that I think about it fundamentally. And I think that makes sense for me with this particular issue that I'm thinking about, that I'm not speaking up on. That is helpful. That does help me manage that stress, because I just need to think about it in a different way. And that is going to, if I think about it in a completely different way, maybe stop blaming myself, then that'll help me like turn it around. Okay, so now what is my main issue, my main problem? And so that's this Three of Wands. And so now how can I best tackle that particular problem? So we have Eight of Trees, skill. Yeah, so that's the Eight of Pentacles or Eight of Coins. Okay, so whenever I see this card, and that's really pretty, these trees and this, like, what is even happening in there? It's just this like circular flow. It just feels like this like big connection. But the Eight of Pentacles, the skill word is what it really is, coming back to me. Like I can just keep plugging away. Like I don't need to stress so much about like the planning for the future, or like I do not have to work on every single thing that I want to work on all at once. Because if I do, then I'm going to be this like figure in the wasteland here, like trying to find the water. I need to, like, it just skill, like it seems like, kind of home in on that, and and I wonder what the sound is like. Sorry, because I kept leaning back. Anyway, I need to home in on my skill, go with that, and like, work on maybe one or two things at a time, and stop trying to like, cross this desert of, because I'm burning out. I'll burn out if I do that. All right, and finally, the last one is, what aspect of myself do I need to take a look at right now? And that was the Two of Pentacles. So, all right, so this one is, what's the best way, or how can I go about, like tackling that particular aspect of myself? So let's see. And this is the Four of Stars, advancement. So stars in this deck are wands. So advancement. Okay, yeah, I feel like it ties into this one too. So if I like get that equilibrium, that like, and am able to manage my time, and I'm able to manage, the things that I want to do, and like give myself a bit of a break, and not keep feeling like it's all for naught, like it feels like that's the sentiment here, then I'll get moving, and I will reach, like I'll make some headway, I'll have advancement, I'll all these stars and like this eye here, it just makes me feel like we've reached we've made an advancement. Yeah, well, I've made some headway. Like I've come to a really good like place where things feel centered and they feel, good again. And maybe, you know, if I stop juggling things so much, or like juggling, or like feeling like everything is just falling through my hands and I'm just like up in the clouds, I can make some real progress with the things that I care about the most, like my, you know, like my creative endeavors, really. All right, so yeah, that was really good. That helps my mind like calm the down quite a bit. And so what I did at the end here is I pulled a card from an oracle deck to kind of just like put a summary here, like, and like kind of piece it all together and say to myself, so what, and this is from the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. And I said, so like, if in having processed all this in my night, you know, in my insomniac state, having processed all this in my insomniac state, what, like, ultimately, what is my takeaway here? What have I gotten? What have I been able to get? What have I gotten? What have I been able to get from this reading? Ease. Oh, that's fantastic. That's just lovely. That helps a lot. Like, it just, yeah, it just makes me feel better. Makes me feel a lot better. So yeah, so this is a tarot spread for insomnia, and it is now, I don't know if you hear the birds, probably through this whole thing, the night birds are now the morning birds because the sun is rising, and I have not slept. Maybe I'll get some rest later today. But okay, let me bring back my Borg and my Cylon. But yeah, thank you for sticking around with me through that messiness of my insomnia. I hope there's some, you know, takeaways for you guys, that if this is a spread that you liked and wanted to try. It was totally on the fly and impromptu, but it really helped me to talk it out loud. And I often do this talk to myself out loud, whether or not I'm recording. So it was nice to be able to have someone to talk to. So thanks again for sticking around with me. And I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye now.